Hi guys, welcome to the channel. One of my best videos so far on this platform is my video about how I broke the cycle of living paycheck to paycheck. So many people have resonated with that video, so many people have commented, so many people have liked. I have gotten over 100 subscribers just because of that video, and I thought, you know what, this is a topic that people are interested in, and there are so many people, even I have friends in my life that doesn't really know the basics of money management. Some of us, we just believe the mindset is that we we earn an income to pay bills, and that's not the case. I remember one of the questions that I always get asked by friends, by even relatives. I remember when I was a nanny, one of my employer, she asked me, "I'm concerned about you. How do you do it? You're by yourself, you're in New York City. How do you do it?" And I just smiled. I remember I just smiled and I said, "I don't know. I just do it." But looking back, I think one of the things that I can say contributed to me never ever having to go to anyone and say, "Can you borrow me this because I'm short on rent? Can you borrow me this because I'm short on bus fare?" I don't recall ever having that experience, and knock on wood. But I think what contributed to that is that I have so much self-control and the ability to just live on a budget and live within my means. If I have to go down memory lane, I think I was prepared for that time in my life when I was very young. I remember when I was a teenager, going to school was a very difficult thing for me financially. Going to the town every weekday to go to school. I lived in the village and I had to take a bus to go to school, and it was very tricky because my mom did not have enough money to send me to school every day. So there were days when I would miss school. I hated missing school. Then there were times when I would have to ask my uncle, ask a cousin, ask an aunt, and I was tired. I was just tired of that. And I remember I observed there was a lady in my village that had a very large family, and every Saturday she would have so much laundry to do. So I decided, I was like 15, 16. I decided I'm going to go to this lady and I'm going to ask her for a job. I went to her, I said, "I observe you have so much laundry to do on Saturdays and you spend the entire day doing laundry. Can I help you every Saturday and you give me $15? And she said, "I cannot give you $15. I can give you 12." The reason I asked for $15 was because I went to school 5 days a week. My commute would cost me $2, and I would need $1 for snack. So that would be $3, 5 days, every day. That would be $15 a week. But she said she could only give me 12. Then I said to myself, okay, 12 is not bad. At least I can go to school for sure. I know for sure I can go to school 4 days a week. and that's what I did. But also there were times when, because I live in the village, everybody know each other, so there were times when I would get a free ride to school. So the money that I would have paid, I would save it for the Friday. So most times I would still go to school on a Friday. But this is how I think I learned how to budget and how to manage money. This little experience, and I was able to apply it in my life here, in my time in New York. I lived within my budget. I worked odd jobs here and there, babysitted in the weekends, babysitted on night time, have babysitting jobs during the day, but it was never so much that I would have excess. It was just enough where I would pay bills, be able to buy a little groceries, pay my rent, and pay my tuition. So for many people, it seemed like, how does she manage with that? What is the magic? There's no magic. It's just discipline, commitment, and self-control, and being intentional. I remember I had a book where I would put, okay, laundry $20, food $15, metro card, rent, and that's how I did it. And I made sure everything was covered. I never, if my landlord is watching me now, I had never went to any landlord and say, can I pay you next month? I never did that. Yeah, and I'm very proud of that. And this is how I did it. I just lived within my means. I will tell you, I remember the first time I went to get a manicure pedicure. That was not in my vocabulary because I couldn't afford it. I remember the first time I was able to go on vacation. It wasn't a problem that I couldn't go on vacation. Those things were not, I knew it was far from my reach, so I never considered it. But when I was able to do it, I did it. So you truly have to live within your means. We have to stop trying to portray an image that is not true. It's okay to not be able to do something at a certain time. This is where you are in life. This is the stage you are in life. Be grateful for where you are and what you can do, but work towards changing that. I was comfortable but never content. I was always working towards changing my situation. But with my situation, I made it work for me by budgeting and always living within my means. It is very expensive to live above your means, because another thing about that is that you create this image and you have to maintain that image continuously, and it's just so you end up in debt trying to just maintain that image, because the moment you stop, people are going to observe, and we are people pleasers, some of us. So the moment you stop, you're like, oh my God, people are going to observe. I'm not posting the same photos on social media. They're gonna say, what happened to her? I trade in my luxury car for a used car. People are talking, people are wondering. So just live within your means. Who cares? People are going to talk anyway, so just do what you have to do it for you, not for others. So yeah, this is the first thing that has really helped me to survive on a small income, living below my means. Next thing that has really helped me is that I am very in control I don't believe in lifestyle inflation. Lifestyle inflation or lifestyle creep is when your income increases and your expenses increases to match it. I am very aware to an extent where I do not allow this to happen. And it's very, very tricky because it can be very subtle. And your mind will tell you, you know what? You are making the money now. You are earning the type of money now. You need a luxury car. It's time to ditch that, you know, low-end car. Get something luxury. Now you should be dressing with brand name clothes, or you should have a fancy bag now. Come on now, you are working over there, you are earning money, you should have this fancy bag, or you should go on more vacations, or you know, it's very subtle. And yes, you think that you need those things, but do you really need those things? Do you really? If you are living in a very nice neighborhood that is safe, there has never been a crime, why move to something expensive? What this does, it brings you back to square one. That's why people who are earning six-figure income still live paycheck to paycheck, because their lifestyle and their income are the same. There's no room for putting money away. There's no room for investing. There's no room for building an emergency fund. Instead, what they are doing, they are even building debt. So two things: living on a budget, living within your means, and avoiding lifestyle creep. I'll tell you one story before I leave. New York is a very expensive state. I lived in New York for many years. And during my stay there, what I could have afforded in real estate was a basement apartment. That was what I could afford. I couldn't afford anything else. And I remember my dream was to just live in an apartment. I was tired of living in a basement. I wanted ventilation. I wanted to decorate. I wanted to invite friends over and be proud of an apartment. And I remember when my life changed and I was able to do that. But guess what? I didn't do that. I remember that basement was creating a lot of problems. My neighbors were acting up above me. They were very noisy. I was getting wet because sometimes their bathroom would overflow and the water would fall in my apartment and I would get wet. But I said, you know what? I was so tempted to just go out there and get an apartment. And I did the math and it didn't make financial sense. At that time, I was paying very little in the basement, about $600. And I thought, if you go out there and rent an apartment, you most likely might be paying 3 times more, $1,800, almost $2,000 a month. This is not a wise financial decision. Stay there one more year and put your money away towards a down payment and buy something that is yours. Most likely you will not pay $1,800. You will not pay $2,000. You might pay less, but at least it's yours. And I did that. This is one of the things you can do. Sometimes don't rush just because you are earning more. Don't make impulsive decisions. Do the math. Make sure it makes sense to you. I know sometimes you want to prove to the world that we've made it. You know, we want to shift to better housing, better neighborhood, buy more expensive clothes, but you don't have to do that. Do it for yourself. Be honest with yourself and do what is best for you. I remember I didn't rent. I decided, okay, I'm not going to rent. I saved and I saved and I saved, and within 1 year I was able to buy myself my little condo apartment, and I felt a sense of achievement by doing this. I think if I had rented, I would never be able to buy that condo. That most of my money would just go away in towards paying rent. So yeah, to all my friends who have asked me, how do you do it on your own? This is how I do it on my own. I live within my means, I live on a budget, and I avoid lifestyle creep. Lifestyle creep can be very subtle. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you learned something from this video. We are approaching the end of the year. Great year, great time to sit down and reflect on your finances, on how you want to change and how you want to begin the new year. Just if you are having a difficult time because you have created that image, you know, showing the world that you've made it, and you know that you have not, that you are struggling financially, it's okay. Just make that move, you know. Do what you have to do. If you have to cut the cable, cut the cable. I don't have cable TV. I only have internet, and I watch, you know, if I want to watch Netflix, I do. If I want to watch YouTube, I do. My thing is beeping. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video.